So, hello, my name is Andrew Kevorkian, and today I'm going to be exploring a pivotal theme at the heart of future leadership, which is ethical leadership and intelligent disobedience. In a world filled with challenges and moral complexities, our educational institutions hold the key to nurturing leaders who are not only academically adept, but also ethically grounded. I will mostly be focusing on how educational institutions can integrate ethical leaders, those who are prepared to stand up for what is right, challenge the status quo, and lead with both empathy and integrity. What's important to understand is its profound impact on our society. This focus is not merely academic. We aim to cultivate leaders who possess the essential moral traits to navigate complex ethical landscapes. As we dive deeper, let us focus on the core pillars that support ethical leadership: moral courage, intelligent disobedience, and ethical leadership itself. Moral courage is the unwavering strength to stand for one's convictions, to uphold ethical standards, even when faced with personal risks or professional risks. It is about bravery, not just in the face of physical danger, but in the courage to act rightly amid moral conflict. Intelligent disobedience occurs when individuals, guided by their moral compass, choose to defy orders or norms that contradict ethical standards. It's about knowing when not following the rule is the right thing to do. Together, these concepts form the bedrock of ethical leadership, which is an approach that empowers leaders to guide with fairness, integrity, and a deep sense of justice. Now, throughout history and modern day times, numerous figures have demonstrated the power of moral courage and intelligent disobedience. From Edward Snowden's whistleblowing activities to Simone Biles' advocacy for mental health. These individuals emphasize the importance of standing up for what's right, even when faced with significant personal and professional risk, as repeated. Now, Edward Snowden is an American technology specialist who took significant personal risks to expose global surveillance programs by leaking classified information. Let us also consider Frances Haugen. As a former Facebook product manager, Haugen courageously disclosed internal documents revealing how the platform amplified hate speech and misinformation. Her actions underscore the critical need for leaders who are not only aware of ethical dilemmas, but are also prepared to act against corporate malpractices for the greater good. This case illustrates why educational institutions must prioritize cultivating such moral courage and ethical discernment in our future leaders. By teaching ethical leadership, we empower individuals like Hagen to make decisions that can transform organizations and ultimately society. Other examples, such as Mandela, are noted for his struggle against South Africa's apartheid system, advocating for equality, human rights, and societal transformation, which led to significant changes in his country. Similarly, Malala Yousafzai is a Pakistani education advocate, is also recognized for advocacy for women's education in Pakistan. Now, moving on to redefining moral courage. In the realm of competitive sports, athletes are often celebrated for their relentless pursuit of excellence, even at the cost of their personal well-being. Many sports viewers, they like to see as courage as when a sports athlete perseveres through pain, such as the picture shown on the left. However, Simone Biles challenged this norm during the Tokyo Olympics by prioritizing her mental health above the competition, sparking a global conversation about the essence of moral courage. Her decision marks a pivotal shift in how we perceive leadership and resilience in high-pressure situations. It underscores the importance of recognizing mental health as a legitimate aspect of overall well-being. Of course, this challenges, as mentioned before, traditional expectations and redefining what it means to be a courageous leader in sports. Now, let us also explore another core concept, which is empathy in ethical decision-making. Now, empathy is the foundation of ethical decision-making. Both empathy and self-awareness are cornerstones of ethical decision-making, which are essential for leaders to truly connect with and understand the needs of others. Social emotional learning, or SEL, also plays a pivotal role in enhancing these skills. It equips leaders with the ability to manage relationships positively and make decisions that consider the well-being of the community. By integrating SEL into our curricula, we can foster leaders who not only recognize their own emotions and values, but also effectively navigate interpersonal dynamics, which is relationships with others, which also involves creating an inclusive environment where every voice is heard and where leaders are responsive to the needs and rights of all stakeholders. Now, another key aspect is integrity versus bias leaders. Integrity in leadership is non-negotiable. Integrity is a very essential trait for leaders because Leaders with integrity promote a positive environment, which means they cultivate a culture of respect and trust, enhancing employee morale and productivity. They are fair and transparent. They ensure that all decisions are made openly, fostering a sense of fairness and equity within the organization. They also hold accountability and ethical decision-making. They are committed to ethical standards. They hold themselves and others accountable, leading by example. On the other hand, negative leaders create negative workspaces. Their leadership results in toxic environments where distrust and disengagement thrive. They overlook community interests, which means they often ignore broader community concerns, focusing narrowly on personal or immediate business gains, and they foster toxicity and compromise integrity. By failing to uphold ethical standards, they contribute to a culture that devaluates integrity and ethical behavior. Now, having discussed much about these principles, we should also discuss about solutions or adopting these ethical principles. Now, this involves more than theoretical knowledge. It requires practical applications, such as assertive communication training, which focuses on empowering students to express their opinions and concerns effectively, fostering a culture of open dialogue and mutual respect, interactive participatory learning, which engages students through hands-on activities, discussions, and group collaborations, enhancing their practical understanding of ethical issues. Integration of social and emotional learning, as I mentioned before, incorporates training that develops self-awareness, emotional management, and empathy, which are all key components for making informed ethical decisions, and incorporation of principles of moral development, which introduces frameworks that help students assess ethical dilemmas and make decisions that align with core moral values. And lastly is utilizing qualitative evaluations, which implements assessments that provide insight into the nuances of students' ethical reasoning, helping educations tailor future instruction to address gaps in their understanding. By engaging students in these activities, we not only enhance their ethical decision-making skills, but also prepare them to face and solve real-world challenges ethically and effectively. Now, an important note here is that leadership does not exist in a vacuum. And what I mean by that is that it is influenced by diverse cultural beliefs and practices. An effective ethical leadership curriculum must incorporate a wide range of perspectives, preparing leaders to operate effectively across various cultural contexts. Now, of course, with these solutions come some counter arguments and rebuttals. So first counter argument is resource constraints. Problem is schools often face limitations in budget and resources, which can hinder new program implementations. However, the solution to this is to integrate ethical leadership components into the existing curriculum, which basically you're utilizing current resources and frameworks to minimize additional costs. The second problem is cultural conflicts. As I mentioned before, we have many diverse conflicts, and diverse cultural backgrounds can often lead to conflicts when standardizing ethical teachings. You see, some conflicts may disagree, some cultures may disagree on some aspects, and other cultures may agree on the aspects. Of course, culture ultimately influences a person's personality. And the solution to this is to emphasize common human values such as respect, honesty, and empathy, which transcend cultural differences and foster a universal approach to ethical leadership. Of course, these three values must be agreed upon on all cultures and cannot be debated upon. Another problem is the imposition of beliefs. There may be also a concern that ethical education might lead to the imposition of specific beliefs on students by the educator. However, this can also be solved by encouraging independent thinking and critical analysis, allowing students to develop their own ethical understandings within a guided framework. This helps them not become vulnerable to adopting beliefs of their educators, rather what they think is correct. Then there's also the difficulty in assessment, which is measuring the effectiveness and the depth of ethical understanding in students, which can be challenging. The solution to this is to employ qualitative assessments that may be on paper or not. Not all assessments must be on paper. Some can be one-on-one, just the teacher and the student. And this could offer detailed insights into students' reasoning and ethical perspectives, which overall provides a richer understanding of their learning outcomes. Now, to sum up what was said, Fostering ethical leadership is essential for developing leaders who are not only capable of achieving professional success, but are also committed to acting with integrity and responsibility. As we continue to integrate these principles into our educational systems, we invest in a future that values and prioritizes ethical behavior in all spheres of life. And as once quoted by Chaim G. Genois, I'm sorry if I mispronounce anything, reading, writing, arithmetic are important if they serve to make our children more humane. And also, I would like to mention that all this argument was, two of these articles inspired me for this argument, which is the moral courage and intelligent disobedience, and Simone Weil's The Most Humane Meaning of Courage. Thank you, and I now invite you to ask any questions or concerns that you may have.
All right, thank you, Andrew. I would like to ask you, what was the methodology that you used to research your project? What do you think helped the most? And do you think it was enough to be a individual project, or do you think would have been better, like as a team project? What would, what's the difference? What would have been the difference?
Well, if it was more of a team project, I would say maybe we would have been able to cover more, but I was able to basically condense everything into one single presentation and basically include everything that is important. Also, may you repeat the first part of your question?
It's the methodology. What methodology did you use, and what did you find most effective to collect information?
Well, I mostly searched most of my I used some articles and research papers by highly reliable researchers. Mostly, as you can see here through the list of citations list, there are many sources that I used. Actually, these are mostly for the images, but I meant for my IWA, I used a lot of sources, and I mostly found that all of them agree upon the information that I was talking about here.
All right, Israida, do you have anything? All right,
my question is, what inspired you to present on this topic?
Well, you know, in modern day times, there are many aspects in life that we see that require intelligent disobedience and moral courage. And of course, I mentioned examples such as Francis Hogan and Edward Snowden. If it wasn't for them, the public wouldn't have known that the government is spying on them, which shows that, you know, many people are working with government. Why did one have to stand up? It shows how these basically problems they present us to teach these subjects to students so that they can so that we can prepare a future which is not full of lies and dishonesty, but to provide people who are fair with others and are ethical.
Okay, well done, Andrew.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.